Hello everyone, welcome to Unfolding Destiny, where we teach you how to build your life within the context of your true identity. Today's video is going to be awesome. I've got my Mixo type shirt on because it's like 78 degrees today and you just got to represent the brand. Today I want to talk about something opposite from what I've been talking about lately. So if you've been watching my most recent videos, the past couple or so, I've been talking about following your biggest problem, trying to figure out what that problem is, trying to solve it, and then creating marketing around it so that you can carve out a niche in the world that's unique to you. Now, this video today is kind of the opposite. So I just kind of want to give you a backstory. So as I was working on Mixo Type, which is my biggest goal, this is my problem that I want to solve, I started to put every other goal of mine to the back burner, on the back burner. I decided, you know what? As long as I focus on my entrepreneurship, everything else will take care of itself. That as long as I just put a product out there and started making money, that my fitness will take care of itself, my health, my relationships, my connections, every single goal that I wanted, I figured that money would solve that problem, that it would help me get there quicker. And I figured that by focusing on Mixo, that I would actually get there that much faster. And it's not just Mixo, it could be anything. I mean, it could be any goal, any entrepreneurial goal. And this thinking actually sabotaged a lot of my efforts. It held me back because what it meant was that instead of going to the gym, I would just work on my projects. Instead of focusing on my health, instead of actually meeting with friends and keeping those relationships alive, I would just focus on working on Mixo Type. Now the thing with that is that work tends to fill the amount of time you provide it. So I would carve out like an 8-hour day, and something that should have taken me maybe 2 hours to do would end up taking the whole 8 hours. And it wasn't like it was a true 8 hours of dedicated work either. No, there's a lot of time going online and just going through social media, maybe just kind of taking some breaks to eat food and just go out for walks. And so it wasn't truly focused time, but it was the illusion that I was working on this one thing. That made me feel like, all right, I need these 8 hours to work on Mixo Type so that can be my one thing and everything else will take care of itself. But at the same time, I had this inkling that I wanted to do other things. As a matter of fact, one of the most important things to me in my life outside of Mixo Type is my Kung Fu, is my martial arts. I'm a fighter at the core. And this is so important to me. So training at Grant's Kung Fu Academy, that even when I lived in Boston, one of the biggest reasons why I came back to the greater Philadelphia area is because of that school. And I just couldn't find that same Kung Fu instruction anywhere else. I mean, it's like the best thing I've ever done. And so I had to come back. But even then, I noticed that I can never really give my full attention to my training. And I couldn't really figure out what it was that was holding me back. I mean, I kind of knew it was Mixo Type. I mean, look, as long as I focus on this one thing, then everything else will take care of itself. But what was the result? Well, I was fat. I was like 224 pounds, right? My health wasn't the greatest. I kind of slept when I wanted to, woke up when I wanted to. I would binge TV shows. I mean, Netflix was, I didn't really have a steady Netflix account, but whenever I would go on it, I would just watch 2 or 3 seasons of whatever show at a time. And I mean, it was just bad. And so when you have like these bad, unhealthy habits, you're waking up whenever you want to, you're not going to the gym, or you'll have this like New Year's resolution where suddenly you start going to the gym for 2 weeks and then one day you don't go and then everything falls to the wayside. See, my life wasn't structured for success, and so I couldn't really hit all my goals. And I noticed as the years were passing me by that, yeah, I was learning more about Mixo Type and I was making progress down that path, but what kind of a leader was I? Like, how could I create a company that's focused on helping people become the best versions of themselves when I was just a slob? Not in personality wise, no, I was a good person, but just physically, and like I was just like lazy and fat and out of shape, and I wasn't hitting all my goals. And so something in me just told me to just keep pushing, and I loved what I did, and I guess the love of me made me want to just keep going to my kung fu classes. So I made it a point to make that something that I do ritually. I just go there routinely. I would go 4 or 5 times a week, and even if it meant that I wasn't focusing as much in school, the kung fu was important to me. And then a couple years later, actually a couple of years ago, well, last year, I actually fought my first full contact fight, but that was leading into my realization about how by focusing on a fight, by learning how to fight, it actually feeds other areas of your life. This is something that my kung fu brother Craig also taught me. I would go to his house to train as well. Between the academy and his place, I would sometimes just kind of work with him. But then when I would go back to my academy, I was that much stronger, that much more focused. And what I ultimately learned was that something about a fight, it does something to you psychologically that, I don't know, man, like you cannot, once you get into the arena and you're face to face with someone who wants to knock your head off, nothing prepares you for that except for your own preparation. I mean, you wake up most days and you're in a daze and you're kind of just like hallucinating. You're just kind of scrolling through your feed and you're not really paying attention to your surroundings, and you're just kind of eating whatever you want, and you're just walking through life just kind of blindly sleepwalking. But when you're training for a fight, you're burning off of all cylinders. And I remember leading up to the weeks and days leading up into the fight, like the 12 weeks, I was training hard and I dropped even more weight and I was in incredible shape. I mean, I'm probably in better shape now than I was back then, but you know, you got to keep progressing. But like, I was still in incredible shape. And what that did for me was that intense period of training where I wasn't really able to focus as much on mixo type because I was focusing harder on my training. It made me realize that after that, I got to wake up earlier. So now I started waking up at 5 a.m. and that was really hard at first. And then now I'm waking up at 4 a.m. like religiously, regularly. So I've built these rituals into my life where I realize that, look, if I really want to go after what I want to get after, if I want to really become the best version of myself, I gotta wake up early. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta work out hard. I gotta train my kung fu. I gotta really hit the gym and lift those weights. I gotta do my jumping jacks, my push-ups. I gotta fast. I gotta eat right. I gotta watch my nutrition, my caloric intake. All these things, which once at one point in my life I thought were distractions, ended up being like parts of my rituals that helped me become the better version of myself, the best version of myself. So that when I could work on mixo type, when I did, I was fully focused. I had no inhibitions. I had no anxieties or qualms. I wasn't worried about not hit the gym for like 4 weeks because I had already hit the gym at like 5 a.m. that morning. While everyone else was asleep, I was at the gym. And so my body started to transform and the weight started to like melt away and everything in my life transformed. And one of the things that Craig taught me was that, you know, everything in life feeds everything else that you do. So Kung Fu means hard work. And that's what my instructor, Sifu Fred, also says, that Kung Fu, or just this hard work itself, whatever you do, put your 100% into it. And then when you put your 100% into it, it feeds everything else that you do. There's no stone left unturned. When you wake up at 4 a.m. and you get your pre-workout in and you go to the gym and you lift hard and you lift heavy and you're still dieting, don't you think that's going to make you want to eat even better? Okay, now you're eating better so that you can have better gains. Amazing. And then wait a minute, when you go and actually do some fight training, that's going to make you work out even harder. It's going to make you be more focused when you punch, when you kick, when you jab, all those things. When your opponent's kind of lazy, you're not as lazy. You have more fluidity. You can move your body better because you have the dynamics and the range and the movement and the motion because you're eating right and you're working out and you're exercising. And because you're waking up early, you have those routines in place where you're not, ironically, you're actually not as tired. These things energize you. These rituals energize you. And so what I recommend is that as you go through your life and you're focusing on your one big goal, do not dismiss the other things. Don't stop brushing your teeth. Don't neglect proper health. These things, they're going to help you become the best version of yourself. Sure, it might be a slight trade-off. It might take you a little longer to get to your goal, but you know, at this point, whatever your goal is, if it's meaningful enough to you, it's going to be something that you're going to pursue for the rest of your life anyway. So you have all the time in the world to really do what you want. And if it means that you got to get rid of the Netflix and the Hulu and all the other stuff, cool, right? Minimize those distractions and really focus on goals that really make you better. Put your 100% into them. You have every bit of time in the world to learn something like how to fight better, or learn a different language, or learn any other skill, guitar, music, whatever it is. And of course, now look, I'm not going to be the next Bruce Lee or the next Conor McGregor. I'm never going to be as good as Floyd Mayweather. I mean, these people are in a class, in a league of their own. But hey, like, that doesn't mean that I can't get really, really good at what I do. That doesn't mean that I can't become a really good fighter. That doesn't mean that I can't put my 100% into my personalized approach to life, so that when I'm punching, when I'm kicking, and when I'm dipping, and when I'm dodging, and when I'm like grappling, it doesn't mean that I can't be really good and effective at that. And by the way, when you train that warrior spirit, once again, the biggest benefit that you get from putting your 100% into something like this is that you train the warrior spirit, and that carries over into other areas of your life so that you can execute more fearlessly. That way, when I do go into working on a mixo type, I'm fully focused, fully engaged. Don't you think that after I put this video out that I'm more motivated than ever before? I'm in a different state of mind and energy. I'm in peak state, and that peak state is going to influence everything else that I do. All right. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this message. Share it if you like it, and like it if you do like it, hit the like button. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I'm going to continue sending these videos out to you once every week or so. All right, thank you. Take care.